Hello everyone, warm welcome to Textbook Super Coaching. My name is Madhav. I welcome you all in a very important session, that is the weekly current affairs for RBI Grade B examination. As you all know that current affairs are going to play a really very important role in your upcoming examination, whether it is phase 1 or phase 2. In both the phases, current affairs is going to be really very important. Keeping that part in mind, we at Textbook we have started with a new initiative where we will be discussing all the important current affairs in a weekly manner. First of all, we have 6 p.m. session on Monday, that is for weekly PIB updates. Then we have 6 p.m. session on Tuesday, where we have yesterday discussed the weekly finance updates. Then we have RBI updates today, that's Wednesday. And on Thursday, we have government schemes. On Friday, we have ESI current affairs. And on Saturday, we have important reports and indices. These are the areas which are important related to your current affairs, from where the direct questions are asked in the examination. And keeping that in mind, we have started with this initiative where we will be covering all these important areas, and that too in a very systematic manner, where we will be discussing all the important current affairs for your examination in this particular series itself. So before we start the discussion, may I have a reply in the comment section that I'm audible, visible, everything is fine, we are good to go, so that we can begin the discussion without any further delay. The question is, so what all things we are going to discuss in this particular session? If I give you a quick glimpse of it, I don't know how many of you usually visit the RBI website, but the moment you will visit the RBI website, I'll show you. On the RBI website itself, you will find many things which are important. The first part is notifications. The moment you click on the notifications, in the past 1 week, two notices have been presented by RBI. One is the review of extant instruction, that is withdrawal of circular, and the second one, is liberalized remittance scheme for resident individuals. So out of these two, this one is really very important, which we will be discussing in today's session, where I will be talking about what is liberalized remittance scheme, what changes have been done, what will be the impact of these changes, and how these changes are going to be implemented. Secondly, after notification, do check the press release part. In the press release part, you will find out the daily updates given by RBI related to different aspects. But out of these press releases, what are really very important for you? The monetary penalty which has been charged by RBI. So recently RBI has charged monetary penalty on Axis Bank, which we will be discussing in this particular session. RBI has also charged monetary penalty on HDFC Bank, which also we will be discussing in this particular session. Along with that, RBI has charged monetary penalties on different cooperative banks, different financial organizations. You can read them, but do not memorize the penalty values for these cooperative banks as well as the other financial institutes. Most important one are going to be two out of the all. One is RBI imposed monetary penalty on Axis Bank, and the other one, RBI imposed the monetary penalty on HDFC Bank Limited, which we will be discussing. After this, we will move on to the third area, that is the speeches. And today we will be discussing about the RBI grade B. Sorry, I will be discussing about the RBI governor latest speech, where he has talked about India at an inflection point. We will discuss what is this inflection basically, what address he has given, what all data he has shared, and out of the shared data, what all important aspects you need to note down for your examination, I will be discussing in this session itself. So let's begin the discussion. Let's start our discussion with the first news, or I would say with the first notification, that is related to the liberalized scheme. So recently, liberalized remittance scheme for resident individuals, there is a discontinuation of reporting of monthly return. So before we discuss this entire news, two things are really very important which you must understand, and once you are clear with those two terms, then only it is beneficial to move ahead. So first of all, I'll talk about the term that is LRS. First of all, I'll start my discussion with the term that is LRS, which stands for Liberalized Remittance Scheme. Now the question is, what is the meaning of liberalized remittance scheme? How this remittance scheme is important with aspect to your upcoming examination? What all things you need to note down in this particular scheme are going to be discussed. Shall we start the discussion, guys? Shall we start the discussion? Please reply in the comment section. Shall we start the discussion? Okay, I'll start my discussion with the first term itself, that is liberalized remittance scheme. Now the question over here is, what is the meaning of this term, that is liberalized remittance scheme? See, as an Indian resident, we have a power to remit, we have a power to send funds outside India. For example, let's take an example. My younger brother, he is staying in Australia and he is going through with his studies. He is into his study part, and obviously, side by side, he's trying to earn. But eventually, when he needs the funds, he can call me up and he can say, Bhaiya, I need some funds. Could you please transfer them? So, the moment as an individual, as a resident of India, if I'm transferring the funds outside India, that will be included under the category of what? So that will be included under the category of liberalized remittance scheme. So remember that liberalized remittance scheme was introduced by none other than the apex authority of country, that is Reserve Bank of India. And Reserve Bank of India has allowed the Indian residents to transmit, to remit a certain limited amount. So this scheme has been enacted since 2004, and since 2004 every Indian resident, I'm not talking about the adult, I'm not talking about an individual who is earning, I'm not saying an individual who is a taxpayer, no, nothing. If you are an Indian resident, then there is a power that you can transmit 250,000, that is 250,000 US dollars every year. So in a financial year, what amount you can remit, what amount you can send, so it allows the Indian resident to send up to 250,000 US dollars per financial year for the permissible current or capital account transactions. The scheme was introduced in 2004 to simplify the process of sending money outside India. Is it clear? Now the question is, sir, LRS is available to all the residents, even the minors who have an Indian bank account, a valid PAN and a passport. So you must be an Indian resident. Along with Indian resident, there is no bar on age, but there are two things which you need to have. One, you must have a bank account. Along with bank account, you must have a passport, and along with the passport, you must have a valid PAN. If you have these three documents, then you are eligible to remit the funds. Now, if you are still confused that, sir, what is the meaning of remittance? Remittance means when you are sending the funds and against which you are not looking for any return. As I took an example that my younger brother, he's staying in Australia, he needs the funds. I have transmitted those funds to him without looking forward for any return in the near future. I'm not expecting that my younger brother, he will earn and then he will pay back along with the interest rate. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. I'm just sending the funds, I'm just remitting the funds without any services taken from the outside country, without looking for any return, without looking for any interest. That kind of transfer is known as remittance. So the Indian resident, they are allowed, Indian residents, they are allowed to remit the funds. Indian residents, they are allowed to remit the funds. What is the limit of remitting these funds? That is 250,000 US dollars per financial year. And this scheme was introduced by RBI since 2004. That means if you are remitting up to $250,000, there is no need to seek permission from RBI. There is no need to seek permission from bank. You just reach to the bank and you come up with an application that, yes, I want to remit funds to one of my one of my relatives, one of my blood relation who is residing outside the country, and I want to remit these funds, and you can do that up to 250,000 per dollars without any other conflict. But there are certain exclusions. The exclusion is LRS is not available to corporations, it is not available to partnership firms, and it is not available to Hindu undivided family and trust. So remember that who all are excluded. As I mentioned, it is only for Indian residents. So Indian corporates or corporations are excluded. Along with corporation, Hindu undivided family and trusts, they are excluded to enjoy the benefit of what? They are excluded to enjoy the benefit of liberalized remittance scheme. They cannot send $250,000 without any pre information given, or without seeking the prior information, or without seeking the prior, I would say, permission from the permissible authorities. Now, the next point is, sir, for what purpose you can remit these funds? So you can remit these funds for different purposes. First is, you can remit these funds for private visit. You can remit this fund as a gift as well as a donation. You can remit the fund for ongoing overseas for employment. You can remit these funds for emigration, maintaining close relatives overseas, or business trips, medical treatment overseas, study overseas, as well as purchasing objects of art overseas. For all that part, you are allowed to enjoy liberalized remittance scheme. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear? So, before we understand the news, we must be clear with the term what is liberalized remittance scheme. Second term in this particular news is related to the authorized dealers. Related to the authorized dealers. Now, the question is, sir, how we define this particular word authorized dealers? Sir, authorized dealers are defined under FEMA. They are defined under FEMA, that is Foreign Exchange Management Act. Let's move on to the next point. So the next point we have is authorized dealers. The next point we have is authorized dealers. Now, if I talk about authorized dealers, what will I say? Sir, in case of authorized dealers are registered, or they are defined under Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. As we all know, according to Foreign Exchange Management Act, RBI is the regulator of foreign exchange. RBI is the regulator of foreign exchange market. So an authorized dealer under the FEMA is a person or entity that has been authorized by Reserve Bank of India to deal in foreign exchange. So that means, who is an authorized dealer? So authorized dealer is registered with RBI as per the Foreign Exchange Management Act, and these authorized dealers, they are allowed to deal in foreign exchange. To deal in foreign exchange. Foreign exchange means they allow you to exchange rupees against dollars. They allow you to make the payments outside the country. They allow you to receive the payments from the other countries as well. So in order to become an authorized dealer, you need to file an application and a relevant document to RBI, and then RBI can allow, or RBI can give you the title of an authorized dealer. Now these authorized dealers, they are further categorized into different categories. They are categorized into different categories. If I say the first one we have, that is authorized dealer category 1. Second one we have is authorized dealer category 2, and the third one we have is authorized dealer category 3. Authorized dealer category 3. And if I talk about the fourth one, sir, the fourth one is basically termed as fourth one is basically termed as fourth one is basically termed as full-fledged foreign currency exchanger. So if we talk about all these categories, I'll start with the category 1. So all the commercial banks, as well as the state cooperative banks, and even the urban cooperative banks, they can be allowed, they can be allowed to seek a title of authorized category 1. So I can say commercial banks. Even in the case of commercial bank, I can include state cooperative banks. For that matter, I can include the urban cooperative banks as well. They can seek a license of authorized dealer from RBI. So all the current account and capital account transactions as per RBI norms can be done. So I would say they are allowed to carry out all capital and current account transactions. If you are not aware what is the difference between capital and current account, I will be explaining you that as well in some time. Moving on to the next point, the next one we have is authorized dealer category 2. So the upgraded full-fledged money exchangers, the upgraded full-fledged money changers or money exchanges. Along with that, we have the cooperative banks, the RRBs. So the cooperative banks, RRBs, and the upgraded fourth category, that is FFMC, full-fledged money changers. Full-fledged money changers, they are given the title of authorized dealer category 2. So they can involve in the specified non-trade related current account transactions. So they are related to only specific non-trade current account transactions, specific non-trade current account transactions. Then we have category 3. So in this we include the selected financial and other institutions. We have selected financial and other institutes which are included in this particular category, and they are allowed to provide specific foreign exchange transactions related to their business only. Third one is full-fledged money exchanges. These full-fledged money exchanges, they are allowed to exchange the currency. Which include Department of Post. It include the Urban Cooperative Bank and the other MBFC and the other FFMC. They are allowed to purchase and sell. They allow foreign exchange only and only in case you are visiting the foreign country. Now you may be visiting the foreign country on a holiday, or it could be a business visit. In all these cases, you are allowed to exchange the currencies from FFMC. Is it clear? Now, moving on to the third point. Sir, what is the meaning of current account transaction and capital account transaction? See, this current account transaction and capital account transaction, they are very different from the current accounts which you maintain with the bank. So current account and capital account transactions, they are related to the source and destination of transaction. So what I mean with this, current account transactions include all those transactions which do not involve asset or liability, which do not impact the asset or liability. For example, current account transaction include remittances. If you are transferring funds from one nation to another without any expectation of return, that is a part of current account transaction. Along with that, if you are involved in trade, that is import and exports, that will be the part of current account transaction. If you are sending a gift to someone, or if you are giving financial aid to someone, all these are included in the category of current account. In case of capital account, if you are making an investment in the country, for example, you are investing in US, so that amount will be termed as, or that will be included under the category of capital account, because it will impact the asset or liability, because you are going to purchase asset outside the nation. If you are lending funds to anyone outside the country, so that loan or that lending will be again included in the capital account. So category 1, that is authorized dealer category 1, they are allowed. Authorized dealers category 1, they are allowed to involve the transactions in capital as well as current account. Category 2 are allowed for specific non-trade current account transactions like remittances. Category 3, they perform specific foreign exchange which is related to their business only, and full-fledged money changers, they allow only and only foreign exchange, and that too for foreign visit, whether you are visiting the foreign nation for your foreign country, maybe it as a business trip, or maybe this visit could be related to or can be termed as a business visit. So all these are related in this category. Now, once we are clear with these terms, now we'll understand this particular news. It says liberalized remittance scheme for residents individuals has discontinuation of reporting of monthly return. What does it mean? So Reserve Bank of India has issued a significant update regarding the liberalized remittance scheme. Now we know what is liberalized remittance scheme for resident individuals, specifically discontinuing the requirement of monthly reporting by authorized dealer category 1 banks. So what was the case? The case was, if you want to remit the funds, you will be remitting the funds obviously with the help of a bank. And if you are involving the transactions which may or may not include the current and capital account transactions, then obviously you will be using the service given by authorized dealer category 1. Now, if you are utilizing the services given by authorized dealer category 1 only, in that case, all the transactions done by the Indian residents from these banks, the banks are liable to report. Banks are liable to report about these transactions to RBI on monthly basis. But now it has been discontinued. Now there is no need to come up with the entire detail of the monthly transactions, and there is no need to provide those details to the RBI. So this change follows a review of existing reporting system under LRS, which was previously implemented since 2008. Now, what changes has been done? So now in this particular case, earlier authorized dealer banks were required to submit information on the number of LRS applications received. So how many number of LRS remittation applications they have received, what amount has been remitted, by whom, to which country, entire detail was need to be submitted to RBI on monthly basis. But now this has been changed. Now the remittance related reporting will be done on daily basis. Now the remittance related reporting will be done on daily basis. That means today, for example, it is 11th of September. So on 11th of September, SBI is one of the commercial bank. So how many applications SBI has received for LRS, which is need to be done maybe today or in the near future, SBI will be submitting all the details to RBI the very next day on 12th of September, which they were earlier doing at the end of month. Now they will be doing on daily basis. Now let's suppose on 11th September, SBI has not received even a single application for remittance, then SBI will be giving a report that, sir, we have received nil. We have received nil. We have received zero. We have received nil, we have received zero, nil report, which means we have received no application for making the transactions outside the country. So authorized dealer category 1 banks are advised to inform their constituents about this update so that they will be shifting the procedure accordingly, and RBI will be seeking the report on daily basis, which earlier RBI was seeking on monthly basis. Is it clear, everyone? So from one news today, you have understood three things. I'm pretty sure these three things are clear to you. First thing which must be clear to you is, I'll give you a quick revision of this. First one is, what is LRS? This is clear to you. LRS was introduced in 2004. What is the limit of LRS for an Indian individual? The limit for LRS for an Indian individual is $250,000 or 250,000 US dollars. Along with that, what is an update? The update is authorized dealer category 1. They must be reporting RBI regarding the LRS application on daily basis. Earlier, this reporting was done on monthly basis. First thing. Second thing which you learned today is, sir, Foreign Exchange Management Act is responsible to regulate the foreign exchange in the country, and the regulator of foreign exchange is RBI. So all the foreign exchanges or all the authorities which are involved in foreign exchange, foreign transactions are included or they are registered under RBI. So RBI has a registration of authorized dealer category 1, authorized dealer category 2, authorized dealer category 3, and I'm pretty sure FFMC, that is full-fledged money changer term, is also clear to you. Lastly, I have discussed with you what is or what are current account transactions as well as you are clear with the term what is or what are capital account transactions. So if you are clear with all these basic terms, I'm pretty sure that this particular news is absolutely clear to you. Now in near future, if any question comes from these areas, you can easily answer the question in your upcoming examination. So that will be all from my side, which is more likely to be discussed today. But before I end my session, I would request you to check out two more things which we have just discussed, and those two things include related to RBI. So if I talk about the RBI press release, in the RBI press release, first thing which you need to understand is RBI has charged a monetary penalty of 1.19 crore, 1.91 crore on Axis Bank for not fulfilling the RBI norms or for non-compliance of the RBI directions. First thing. Second news which is important in this category is the penalty which has been charged on HDFC Bank. So the penalty charge on HDFC Bank is 1 crore. So you must remember these two updates before we end up the session. So you must remember these two updates. First one, what is the penalty value charged by RBI on Axis Bank for not fulfilling the RBI compliances or RBI norms? What will be your answers? Around the Axis Bank, penalty value is 1.91 crore. Direct question will be asked in the examination. And the penalty value which is charged on HDFC Bank, so that is 1 crore. These two penalty values are important. You can ignore all the other penalty values which have been charged on the different cooperative banks. Now, if you want to clear your RBI Grade B 2025 examination, you can enroll in a Lakshya batch which is available on the textbook application as well as textbook.com. Use a code MADHAV in order to enjoy maximum discount. The moment you will be enrolling in this course, with the help of this particular code, you will understand the difference which you're going to enjoy by using the code, and you can enroll in this course, and with the help of this particular course you can easily clear your upcoming examination which is scheduled to be held next year, that is 2025. If you want to download the PDF of this session, it is available on my Telegram channel which is Economics by Madhav. You can scan the QR code and this PDF will be available to you on my Telegram channel itself. So thank you so much for joining, guys. We'll catch you in the next session. Till then, stay tuned and I hope to see your presence in all my upcoming live sessions. Good luck. God bless you all. Bye bye.